Hello, everybody. This is Demetrius Curry coming to you with what? Another yet fabulous Financially Fit Friday. So, it's brought to you by W Squared AV Talk. And I am so excited today because we have been talking about for several weeks what it means to be financially fit, right? And part of that is getting to know your financials either in your business or even perhaps in your personal finances, right? But today we are actually being joined by one of my favorite nonprofit organization gurus. I just got to tip my glasses to her. There you go. She is getting ready to come on with us, Miss Ty Boone of Ty Boone Enterprises. And before I bring her on, let me tell you guys, Ty has been an inspiration to so many organizations, really just getting to the numbers, getting into their mission, getting into their goals, and to helping them actually create a plan to get financially funded with grants and all kinds of things that matter to business owners across the nation, millions and millions of dollars in funding. So I'm excited that we have the opportunity to have her with us here today. So I'm going to just bring her on. Ty, are you there today?
Hey y'all! Hello, everybody. I am Ty. Do I just introduce myself for people who don't know me? Can I just say something really quick?
Yes, absolutely.
So I'm Ty Boone. I'm owner of Ty Boone Enterprises. I work mostly with nonprofit organizations, helping them to move from startup and struggle to sustainability and success without the traditional headache and hassle. And I know that's a whole lot that I just said right there.
Yes.
Because this is hard work, and HEART, and I say that a lot. That nonprofit work, social impact work is work that you do from the heart, but
Right.
it takes money. Takes money to do anything you want to do takes money to accomplish. So my job, my role at Tyboon Enterprises is chief consultant. So I work with organizations to get them formed and to get them funded. I move them from formation to funded and then to sustainability, because it's one thing to get the money, it's a whole nother ball game to keep the money, right? And to
Oh,
stay
wow, that's
with
so
the
true.
money,
Mhm.
right? What and I know I was invited here today, and thank you, Dee, for the invitation, because it's very important to talk about nonprofits and how they're funded, and why they're funded, why would people even want to fund what it is you're doing, what kind of funding sources should a nonprofit be looking for, no matter what your stage of development is. So I wanted to just talk about that a little bit, if you would allow me a couple of minutes.
Yes, absolutely.
So,
And I was saying earlier, you and I were talking about this earlier. I said we should have our butt checked because we have worked together before in other, nonprofits and doing different things for different nonprofits. But she's also, yes, my sister.
y'all serious,
For
right?
those that don't know, Ty is actually my biological sister, and she is a beast in the game. So I'm so excited to be able to highlight her today. But yeah, let's jump right on in. Let's talk about this diversification of these funds. I mean, what you recommend and what organizations should be looking for.
Yeah, what I normally see, and I have to dispel myths so often, is that people who start nonprofits or people who start businesses in general, they kind of go for the grants, right? They look for grants because they have this idea that grants are free money,
Hmm.
grants are easy. And you remember this guy when I was growing up? I remember this guy who was in this coat with these question marks on it, right? And he's
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
you can get a
yeah.
grant, you can get a grant, whatever. And he just messed up everybody, because that ain't how we work. And I'm kind of matter of fact, so y'all forgive me for being a little bit sassy. I got a lot of education. I don't know if she told you about that, but I can talk like this sometimes because I'm from Greenville, Alabama. But anyway, he kind of messed up everybody, and everybody's thinking, grants are easy, and so that I should start a business or I should start a nonprofit, and then I should immediately look for grants, and that's not how this works, right? What a funder wants to know, especially if you're asking them for support, is that you know how to sustain with or without their money, right? What happens if you were to get awarded a grant and the grant is short term? Let's say the grant is for 1 year. What happens if that's your only source of revenue?
Right.
After the year is over, do you fire your people? Do you stop your programs? And so when you're asking for support, your funder wants to be able to trust you. They want to trust that, hey, what I give you, because even grant money is an investment, what I
Mm-hmm.
give you is going to be able to make a difference long term, a long time after my money is gone, right? So I talk about different ways. I had a webinar once called 10 ways to get money from an orange, right? People are like, what does that mean, right? So you have your grants that I just mentioned, right? If your organization is in position or your business is in position to get grants, that's one way.
Mm-hmm.
But you can also fundraise for your nonprofit organization, right? If that's what you want to
Mm-hmm.
do, having your board to contribute, having your board to take the lead on things like fundraising, having a fundraising goal. You can sell products and services, a lot of people think that if I'm a nonprofit, I'm only supposed to get grants. I can't do anything else. That's not true, right?
Mm-hmm.
Products and services that are related to your mission, you can develop them and you sell them, right? And you can earn revenue doing that thing, right? So whatever your mission is, you want to make sure these products and services are mission related, because if they're not, you fall into something that's called unrelated business income tax, and we don't want that.
Mm-hmm.
We don't want to have nothing to do with these taxes, right? But as long as it's related to your mission, you can sell things. Some of my clients I have a client who does financial literacy, just kind of like you do, Dee, and
Mm-hmm.
she sells financial literacy flashcards and workbooks, right? To bring revenue into her organization, right?
Right. Right.
I have a client, for example, who does a lot of things with fashion and is a mentorship program, but he has this apparel line that's all
Mm-hmm.
about fashion
Yeah.
and generating money into his organization doing that thing, right? You have donations that you might do peer-to-peer type of fundraising stuff for donations. You have events that you could put on to generate revenue. You have people can invest into your organization. You can have endowments, all kind of things to raise money for your organization. You don't have to rely completely on grants. And funders like to see that you have done those kind of things. They want to see diversity in your funding portfolio when they're asking for things like your budgets. They want
Right.
to see that you know how to make it with or without them.
Right. And and you made a very valid point. I was about to ask you that with when what makes you look attractive, right?
Mm-hmm.
You and I talk about this all the time as far as what makes you look attractive to the lender. Well, what makes you look attractive to the funder? If
Right.
you're actually on the nonprofit side and you're asking for, give me some funds, help me out, let me get some of your funds for the year, let me operate off of your monies. And then they want to know, are you going to be responsible
Right.
with the monies, or are
Mm-hmm.
you just going to blow it? You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? And is it going to actually go for what you said you wanted it for?
Mm-hmm. That part. That part right there, right? And I run into so many people who are thinking that, especially grant monies and sponsorship money. They're like, you know what? I'm just gonna get a grant. I'm gonna do whatever I want to do. You know. And I just had another meeting a minute ago, and I said, you know what? Impact is the new black. Orange is not the new black. We don't do that orange over here. I'm trying to keep y'all together so you don't go to jail. You can't spend these people money on what you want to in a nonprofit organization, right? So you're talking about being able to ask for support, being able to show your funder that you are doing that thing that you said you're going to do. That whatever you're doing should be solving a problem. So when people start nonprofits, a
Right.
lot of folks start them because they have a passion for it. Like, okay, there's something I want to do. I have a passion for this thing.
Mm-hmm.
Ultimately, your nonprofit is to be started because you're solving a problem or you're addressing a cause, right? You should not be the only one in your area who thinks this is a problem. Otherwise, you're gonna have a problem getting money for it, right? So if you're
Yes.
saying, domestic violence is an issue, and we know that it is, right? And your organization is founded upon prevention of domestic violence or intimate partner violence, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You start doing this work to prevent or to educate about intimate partner violence, and then have proof that you are providing the service. So how many people have you served? What's happening with these people?
Right.
And then you're asking for support so that people can further help you further your cause. What you're telling people is that, hey, I'm doing this good thing. I want you to help me do this thing better.
So is
Right.
it sort of like having like a market analysis where
Mm-hmm.
like when we do the business plans, and I'm really
Mm-hmm.
relating this to everything that I do in financial
Yep.
literacy. It's like you have the business plan, you're doing the market analysis. You know it's a problem because in the market it says that this percentile of this happens or this percentile
And
of that happens, and then you're trying to solve the problem. Your funding is to solve the problem, to help with solving the problem, right?
exactly.
right?
Yep.
You're showing that you're doing those things by showing the numbers of how many people you helped in that
Exactly.
percentage that you found in that market analysis. Am I
Exactly.
understanding you
You
correctly?
you hit the nail on you hit it right there. You hit it right. That's it. That's exactly what it is. And people go into nonprofits not even understanding that, hey, I need to have a business plan, even for my nonprofit, because a nonprofit business is a business. How are you
Mm,
going to generate revenue? And again, I go back to people thinking that, hey, we're talking about diversifying funding efforts. People are thinking, hey, grants, that's how I'm gonna get it. In
mm,
your normal business, in your for-profit business, you want multiple streams of revenue, right?
yes,
You might have a product, in my business, I'll coach you, right? That's one stream. I still have this mission of helping nonprofits, but coaching is one stream of revenue for me,
right,
right? I
right.
might have a book. That's another stream. It's still about the same thing, right? But I'm trying to diversify my efforts. I might
Yes,
have a group program, same thing, same business, but multiple ways to generate the revenue from it. And that's
right.
what the funders want to see in your nonprofit as well, right? People
Mm,
ask me, how do I make salary? Well, you got to do some work. People don't get paid if they don't do no work, right? That's how everybody makes salary. You got to do some work, and
that's
you
good.
got to make sure you have numbers. And most people say, "Well, so I can't get any numbers because I don't got any money." Well, this is a nonprofit organization. Nobody asked you to start it, right? But because you did, you want to be able. There's things that you can do that don't cost you any money. Right now, you and I are on the Zoom, right?
Hmm.
I was a startup organization and I didn't have overhead, I didn't have any money, I would come on Zoom because I'm already on Zoom, right? I'm already on Facebook, I'm on Instagram, those kind of things are free. I would
Hmm.
invite people to come. I would talk to them about whatever my cause is. I would go back and say, what today I served 20 people because they showed up for my thing, right?
Hmm.
Now I can take this to my funder and say, you know what? Every month I serve 20 people, I educate them on this thing, right?
Right.
End of my thing, I asked them if they learned something. They said, yeah. They showed me what they learned. They come back and they've demonstrated that I've taught them something. Now I've made a difference. Now I can ask you for money with proof that what I do work.
There you go. There you go. And see that's where it all starts right there. And I was gonna ask you this question because I get this all the time. Well, how do I know if I'm supposed to do a profit or a non-profit?
Let's go bottom line, honey, because that's what I say. I work with people every day starting nonprofits. Half the people I talk to, I tell them not to start one. And people look at me like, Ty, I thought you said you help nonprofits move from startup struggle to sustainability and success. But I do, but it ain't for everybody, right? It's not for everybody. And it depends on what your bottom line is. If my bottom line is to first create a legacy for my family, get some financial stability for myself, a traditional nonprofit is not what I want to do.
Hmm.
Because you got a board that's controlling what you got going on. And I know people tell you
That's
that you own it, you don't, right?
that's true.
They dictate what your salary is, right? But in my for-profit business, I can make what I want to make. I can do what I want to do. That's my business. You don't got nothing to do with that. So that's why you want to. It really depends on where you are in life and what
Right.
you think you want to do with that life that you have, right?
True. That's true.
There's some people who you can work it together. There's people who do what's called social enterprise, right? Where you have a for-profit business and it has a underlying social cause that
Right.
you do.
Right.
Think about Tom's, and I just talked about this a minute ago. Tom's Shoes, right? I met this guy back in I can't remember what year that was, a long time ago, who founded the Tom's Shoe Company.
Yeah,
You,
it's like in
you know that
the
guy?
80s or something. Yeah.
I met him a long time ago. And so for every pair of shoes that you buy, he gives a pair of shoes to somebody else. That's a social enterprise thing. So he chose people in his marketing. If
Mm-hmm.
you buy a pair of shoes, we're going to donate a pair of shoes. So people are giving to his business or buying his shoes, making him money in the for-profit so that he could do this social thing,
Mm-hmm.
right? The thing
Mm-hmm.
about that, and it's a contribution, right? The thing about that is that you don't get a tax write-off for buying shoes from Tom's because you're going in there, you're paying whatever. But it makes your heart feel good because you just provided somebody with a pair of shoes,
Right.
right? In a nonprofit business, in a traditional nonprofit business, your donations are tax deductible. So a lot of people like to set up a nonprofit so they can tell people, hey, you can get this and you get tax. But that's not everything.
Mm.
Especially if you are not yet graduated to a place where you could commit 100% to charity, you don't need to do a nonprofit.
Wow. Wow. That's good stuff. That's some really good nuggets right there. Thank you so much for sharing that. When the next nonprofit is available and ready to get on your team, what is the best way for them to actually reach out to you and your team and connect with you to get your services?
Yep, you can visit my website at TyBooneConsulting.com. You can check out my YouTube channel at Capacity Central. I got plenty of nuggets there if you need some more information. I have, a couple of interviews there with some of my clients. I just told you that, one of my favorite clients who we helped get $11.9 million last year, just text me and said that she got 20, and I hope she's listening to this broadcast.
Yes.
Texted me and said that she got 27 acres of land donated to her.
Yes.
All about process, right? Trusting the process, knowing where you are, and knowing what you're supposed to be attracting in the way of funding.
Wow. Wow. Guys, I'm telling you, fantastic. Thank you so much, Ty, for spending this time with us, giving us those real good nuggets and letting people know, hey, you may not want to be in the profit space if you can't dedicate. If you can't dedicate that time and energy, but also realize that what you have, your mission has to be supported and it has to be funded in a proper way. So I'm so thankful that you came here with us today. Guys, I'm serious. Yet another passion impacted diversification, full of information with Miss Ty Boone today with Financially Fit Fridays. We are so excited and thankful that she came by to give us her expertise. Did you all hear that? Did you hear what she just said about that young lady that got over $11 million in grant funding and just also got a donation of over 20 acres of land for her nonprofit organization just by following the guidelines and the rules and having the right team on your side? So that's all part of it. Being financially fit in your business, whether it be your profit business or your nonprofit business, this is part of the whole process of making sure that you have the right team on your side. Make sure you follow Ty Boone Enterprises. We are putting her email address and her website. We're putting her website right there in the system for you. And she's also on YouTube. Okay, so make sure you follow all of her information, and her team is just extraordinary. Okay, thank you guys so very much for being here with us for yet another Friday. Can't wait to see you next week, where we'll bring more information to you on how to be financially fit in your Friday going into your weekend. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.